Let's look at chapter 9. Practice and review. Number 1. Hic totus liber multos locos literarum Romanorum laudat. So I see the verb at the end, laudat. It is the third person singular present active indicative of the verb laudo, laudare, laudavi, laudatum. Somebody praises. Let's look at the beginning of the sentence to see if we have a subject. Hic is not the subject. Totus is not the subject. Those are both adjectives. Liber is the subject. Nominative singular masculine. Totus modifies liber. It's also nominative singular masculine. Hic modifies liber. It's also nominative singular masculine. So this whole book praises. Praises what? Locos. What kind of locos? Multos locos. Locos is accusative, plural, masculine. It praises places, many places. And then this is the genitive. Genitive, we often find this genitive, plural, feminine. We often find right after a noun. That's the usual place for it. Not required, not a rule, but a usual place for it. Genitive, plural, feminine. This whole book praises many places of Roman literature. Number 2. Hi igitur illis deabis heri gratias agebant. Let's go to the end because we saw it here. The end is agebant, third person plural, imperfect. That's what that BA indicates. Imperfect active indicative. And with gratias as the direct object, accusative plural feminine, that means they used to give thanks. I said feminine, I wrote masculine. They used to give thanks. That's the idiom for giving thanks. Who gave thanks? Let's go to the beginning of the sentence, see if there's something that can help us out. He. He is your nominative, plural, masculine of the demonstrative adjective, hic, haec, hoc. That means these guys, whoever they are. Therefore, these guys, then what are we going to do here? Heri is an adverb. But with agebant gratias, you generally give thanks to somebody. We expect a dative, and here it is, dative, plural, feminine. Illis modifies it. So note in this sentence that we have over here the he is a substantive use of the adjective, and illis is the demonstrative use of the adjective, And so these guys, these men, therefore, used to give thanks to those goddesses, or were giving thanks is better because of the use of heri. Were giving thanks yesterday to those goddesses. So these, he, illis, those. These and those. These men were giving thanks yesterday to those goddesses. Number 3. Illud de vitiis istius reginae nunc scribam, et ista poenas dabit. So notice we have two sentences here, this big et, so let's treat them separately. Let's take the first one. Scribam is the verb in the first part of the sentence. The first idea is the first person singular, future, active, indicative. And illude is the direct object, accusative, singular, neuter. De vitiis, this is a prepositional phrase because vitiis is ablative, plural, neuter. Istius reginae, there's that genitive right after the noun. It's the genitive of, and this is genitive singular feminine. Istius modifies it. Nunc is just your adverb that means now. So, I will write scribam. What will I write? I will write that. I will write that. Illude, accusative singular neuter, whatever it is. De vitiis, about the vices. Istius, it's that pejorative use of istius, of that, and you have to say it with a sneer, of that queen. Now, I will now write that about the vices of that queen. And, okay, second thought, second verb. Dabit, third person singular, future, active, indicative. And she will give, and that woman, oh, this is the nominative. This is nominative, singular, feminine. It refers to, it doesn't modify, it refers to the queen. Because notice he used istius in the first part. That queen, and that one, istius, she will pay the price, accusative, plural, feminine, but dabit, poinas means pay the price. It doesn't mean give the penalty. Literally, that's what it says, but it means pay the price. I will write that about the vices of that queen now, and that queen will pay the price. Number 4. Nuter alteri plenam copiam pecuniae tum dabit. I always like this one. Dabit, we saw it before, third singular, future active indicative. But it's not, in this case, it's not pay the price, it's just he will give. But who will give? What is the subject in the sentence? Neither. Nominative, singular, masculine. Neither will give. When you give something, what do you expect? Well, you expect two things. What you're giving, which is the direct object, and who you're giving it to, which is your indirect object. So here is your direct object, accusative, singular, feminine, and plenam modifies it. And here is your indirect object, dative, singular, could be masculine, could be feminine, could be neuter. Don't know. Dative, masculine, feminine, neuter. In your analysis on exam, just pick one. It's fine. I'm going to pick masculine in this case. So, neither. Oh, and there's the genitive, singular, feminine. And notice it follows right after a noun. So, neither at that time, tum, adverb. I'll get there. I just had to analyze everything. Neither will give to the other a full supply of money. Yeah, notice with masculine, feminine, neuter, we don't even have to identify. We don't even have to specify in English. And I like the placement of neither to the other. Neither will give, and you can't make that, it's hard to recreate that in English. But in Latin, you can just put those right together. Neither will give the other a full supply of money at that time, tum. Neither to the other. But again, it's very hard to capture in English. Neither will give the other a full supply of money at that time, or then. Number 5. Potestne laus ilius terrae esse perpetua. This just means it's a question. We can cast that off. Third singular present active indicative of the verb sum potes, posse potui. We expect a complementary infinitive, and here we have over here the infinitive, the present active infinitive is something able to be. What is the nominative singular feminine? Is praise of, okay, we get the genitive singular feminine, ilius modifies it, and perpetua modifies laus. Now, I encourage you, once you get the verb, often in Latin, I don't know a percentage, not 100%, but a high percentage. If you get stuck on your sentences, keep the same word order once you get the verb. Because we know that the Latin word order, the verb is consistently going to be at the end. In English, we like that at the beginning. So I encourage you, read the sentence out loud, find that verb, and put that in there, and then keep the same word order. Is it able? Okay. Is praise of any land, because we like the subject first, is praise of any land able to be perpetual? I'm afraid that you get I get concerned that when you say laus and perpetua, you're going to think, oh, constant praise. No, but notice in this sentence, just like in English, that verb to be separates praise is constant. Or in this case, praise is able to be constant or perpetual or everlasting, or whatever word you choose for perpetua. Perpetual's fine. So, is praise of any land able to be perpetual? Number 6. Labor unius numquam poterit has copias vincere. Here we go. In reading this out loud, I see the poterit up. As I'm reading it in my head, I think, oh, I expect the complementary infinitive, and there it is, vincere. The labor, poterit, and there's my vincere. The infinitive, specifically the present active infinitive. Copias, accusative, singular feminine. Has modifies it. Numquam is an adverb that means never. Poterit, third singular future active indicative. Labor, nominative, singular masculine. Unius, genitive. This is the genitive singular. Could be masculine, feminine, neuter. It doesn't matter. We'll say masculine for now. And notice we're getting a lot of genitives here, and especially notice the placement right after a noun like that. So the Romans were consistent in this respect too. Unius is your new one of those unus nauta words that you want it to be a nominative singular masculine, but it isn't. It's the genitive. And so, this is very annoying because unus is the nominative, unius is the genitive. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, the labor, the work of one. Well, no, it doesn't matter, one person. We can say that in English, can't we? The work of one will never be able to conquer these troops. The effort of one person will never be able to conquer these troops. Yeah, that's fine. Number 7, mores istius scriptoris erant nimis mali. The mores erant mali. This is your nominative, singular, plural, masculine. Mali is also nominative, plural, masculine. It modifies it, but notice its position. It is after your third person plural, imperfect, active indicative. The morals were bad. And not just bad, but nimis mali, too bad. They were so bad, they were too bad. And the mores what? Here's that genitive again, just like in the sentence before where we saw unius. This is your istius, genitive, singular, and we know it's masculine because it modifies scriptoris, which is genitive, singular, masculine. So the morals of that, not this one or that one, but that one, of that writer, we're too bad. We're too evil. Whatever you want to say for Mali, bad, evil. Number 8, nulli magistri tamen sub isto vera docere audebant. All right, so magistri audebant, this is a verb of daring. They dared expect, just like with a verb of possum, to be able. We expect the infinitive. Here it is, docere, complementary infinitive, present active infinitive. In other words, analyze, present active infinitive, use in the sentence, complementary infinitive after audebant, which in this case is third, plural, imperfect, active indicative, and magistri, nominative, plural, masculine, and it's not just magistri, but no teachers. No teachers, sub isto. Under isto is ablative, singular, masculine, masculine, under that one, under that person. Where is your substantive? Well, analyze. Accusative, plural, neuter. Use in the sentence, substantive use of the adjective. No teacher, nevertheless, under that one, that ruler, that leader, that whoever, dared to teach true things. And I think you can substitute grammatically and perfectly fine, absolutely positively for your translation to say able to teach true things. I think it's abstractly, it kind of means the truth. Why didn't they say truth? Chose to say true things. I think either one is defensible. No teacher, nevertheless, under that one, dared to teach true things. Or, no teacher, nevertheless, under that one, dared to teach the truth. So, number 9. Vale buntne pax et libertas in patria nostra post hanc victoriam. It's a question. We acknowledge the enclitic ne there at the end of the verb. Dismiss it because it gets in the way of the translation of the analysis. I mean, not really, but that's fine. Vale buntne, third person, plural, future, active indicative. Will they be strong? Whatever they are. What is strong? Pax et libertas. There's your two subjects. Individually, they're singular, but they're connected with et. Our pax, nominative singular feminine, use in the sentence, verb, libertas, nominative singular feminine, verb. That's just flat out wrong. Subject. Our peace and liberty, will they be strong? In postra, in patria nostra, ablative singular feminine. In our country, post hanc victoriam, accusative singular feminine. Hanc, same analysis, modifies of victoriam. Post, what is the use in the sentence? Object of the preposition. Post always takes the accusative. And that's enough of an answer. Why is it accusative? Because post takes the accusative. That's the rule. You know what I mean? In takes the accusative or the ablative. I think probably more often than, well, in plus the ablative means in plus the accusative means in too. So, but that's not what we have here. Our peace, our will they be strong? Will peace and liberty be strong in our country after this victory? Number 10. Dum illi ibi remanent, alii nihil agunt, alii discunt. Here we go. Notice we've got 3 verbs. 1, 2, 3 verbs. And this dum is this is a dumb clause. Dum means while. While this was happening, and then we have this interesting construction, alii, alii. And it means some others. So while this was happening, whatever was happening in the dumb clause, some did this and some did that. Notice that I want you to get the construction of the sentence, the meaning of the sentence from the construction, the organization of the sentence. I didn't even translate it yet, and I don't want you to translate it yet. I want you to just see what's happening in the structure of the sentence. While somebody was remanenting, others were, while these were remanenting, some did this, others did that. Others discunt, others danced. So let's take this one at a time. While, dum, illi, nominative, plural, masculine. While those, ibi means there, it's an adverb. While those, remanent, third person plural, present, active indicative. While those guys are remaining there, not enough information to tell where there is, but that's fine. Alii, some agunt, third person singular, present, active indicative. Others, third person singular. I said singular, scratch that, it's obviously plural. Third person plural, present, active indicative. While those guys were remaining there, some are doing nothing. Others are learning. So let's keep the same word order though, because I think that's helpful. I think a lot of times you get crazy, with the word order, and you get lost in your translation. While those guys are remaining there, some are doing nothing. Others are learning. (11) Cicero was writing about the glory of the other man, so this is going to be genitive. Other man, not just other man and his wife. Let me do that. About the other man and his wife. So Cicero, nominative, singular masculine, was writing, third person singular, imperfect active indicative. Day, about the glory. Day takes the ablative singular feminine. Of the other man. Of the other man is genitive singular masculine. Other modifies it. And his wife, you don't need his in this case because it's not someone else's wife. Generally, the Romans are going to omit that. Of his wife, also genitive singular feminine in this case. We'll probably use et here. Cicero. I don't want to put the word at the end. Scribebat, Cicero was writing. De Gloria, about the glory. Of the other man, what do we want to use for man? Let's use weary. Weary Alterius and his wife et uxores. I'm not sure if I would put Alterius weary or weary Alterius, it doesn't matter. Cicero, about the glory of the other man and his wife, scribebat, was writing. Number 12, the whole state was thanking this man's brother alone. State is your subject, was thanking is the verb, but you got to remember it's an idiom. Thanks. And because it's an idiom, the brother, okay? The brother is strictly speaking not the direct object because remember, to agere gratias is the idiom. And so brother is strictly speaking the indirect object, so it's going to be dative, singular, masculine. Alone is going to modify it. This man is going to be genitive, singular, masculine. This modifies man, also genitive, singular, masculine. So, state, nominative, singular feminine. So, the whole state was thanking, third person singular, imperfect, active indicative, this man's brother. So let's translate. The state, the tota civitas, the whole state was thanking. I don't know how much room I'm going to need. I'm going to drop was thanking down to the next line. You know what? Let's just put it in the same order here for now. Gratias agebat, was giving thanks to the brother, the frater fratri, alone, soli. This is one of those unus nauta words where the dative is different than what you expect. To the brother alone of this man, the man viri huius. How's that? Of this man. Right. So there we have it all. The whole state was giving thanks to the brother alone of this man. Yeah, that doesn't make, it seems like a very peculiar construction. I think it's a construction I think it's an odd construction in English, and it's an odd construction in Latin, because the author, understandably so, wants you to practice the words of this and that, and the words of this chapter. So it's a little forced construction, I admit. And again, the change I would make, I'd put gratias agabet at the end. And I might might make it soli fratri. And then you can put viri, oh, I like that construction, viri huius. Soli fratri viri huius, because then you have fratri and huius right next to each other. It's called the chiastic arrangement, because then you have the adjective, noun, noun, adjective. So that's nice. That'd be a good construction. Tota civitas, soli fratri, viri huius, gratias agebat. On account of the courage, that courage of yours, those men will lead no troops into these places tomorrow. Wow, that's a mouthful. On account of that courage of yours. And so we have a word for that. The men, those, and they want you to use the substantive adjective, those, will lead troops, but what kind of troops? No troops, into these places and tomorrow. There we go. Notice I'm just getting the structure of the sentence here. Okay, just the structure. So, on account of that courage, propter is the word we're going to use. Got that a little too big somehow. So, propter, on account of that courage of yours. That of yours is isteasta istud. Courage. Where tutem is fine. Where tutem istam. You could use courage animum istum, whichever you want to use, that's fine. Of yours. The of yours is captured in the use of the adjective. Those men, we're going to use the nominative, plural, masculine, will lead, third person, plural, future, active, indicative. Troops, accusative, plural, feminine, no modifiers, troops, into these places. Places is accusative, plural, neuter, no, masculine, excuse me. Masculine, these modifies it. Tomorrow is just an adverb. Cross is the word for tomorrow. Cross, we get procrastination. Pro means for, cross means tomorrow. Procrastination, yeah, it's for tomorrow. On account of the courage, propter, where tutem, on account of that courage of yours, those men, illy, I'm going to postpone the verb to the end, so I'll put it on this type, put it over here, ducent, they will lead. So the third conjugation verb, duco, ducere, duxi, ductum, it's a third conjugation verb. The sign of the future tense is an E. They will lead no troops, nulas, copias, into these places in, you know, and I even leave room here. Let me move this. Just to put the phrases together. In hos locos, cross tomorrow, and then we'll put the verb at the end, ducent. Again, I only put that in there just to maintain a more consistent Latin word order by putting the verb at the end. Propter virtutem istam, illi nullas copias in hos locos, cras ducent. Number 14. Will either book be able to overcome the faults of these times? Book is your subject. Be able, actually will be able, we'll bring that tense indicator in. Be able to overcome. We expect the complementary infinitive, the present active infinitive. Overcome what? The faults, accusative, plural. I don't know what word I'm going to use. I think I'll use culpa. I'll use feminine. Of these times is going to be genitive, plural, neuter. Will it be able? Book is nominative, singular, masculine. Either modifies it, and be able, third, singular, future, active, indicative. So let's put the subject here at the beginning. Uter liber. That's a U-T-E-R. Uter liber. Be able. Let's put this verb in the complementary infinitive afterwards. Superare poterit. There's our main sentence. Uter liber superare poterit. And then we're going to take faults, culpas, of these times. Temporum, genitive plural, even though it looks like what might be a first declension accusative. Temporum horum. Uter liber culpas temporum horum superare poterit.